Welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute devotional podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse. Broadcast from the ever-beautiful Sharonville, Ohio, on the sunny side of Cincinnati. Hey friends, welcome back to Daily Dose Radio. This is the finest farm-to-table Bible bistro on the internet. We use only locally sourced and fresh Bible. Well, we're this week going to be looking at Psalm 6. I'm so glad you're here with me. Come on in, sit down, let's get on with this. We've got great Bible to look at this week. Psalm 6, we're going to look at all 10 verses. And today we'll begin with verse 1. And, of course, we'll review the the first verse in the Hebrew text, which is our introduction to this psalm. Let me read for you my translation of verses 1 and 2. O Lord, do not judge me in your anger, and do not chastise me in your fury. Be gracious to me, Lord, for I am feeble. Heal me, O Lord, for my bones are disturbed. Now, the introduction here is to the choir master, or of the choir master. We have of the choir master on Niganoth, upon the Sheminith, a psalm of David. Now, we've already had Niganoth. We're really not sure what that is. Probably means a stringed instrument of some kind. Sheminith is new. Not certain what it means in this instance, but it could be a musical notation, meaning upon the eighth, or perhaps it's to be done on a certain octave, because the root means 8. So the eighth or an octave, or perhaps it means that this is to be played upon an 8-stringed instrument, or upon the 8th beat of a certain rhythm or melody. We're not really sure, but definitely musical notation here. So we have the instrument, we have perhaps the melody, the beat, the octave, something like that, in which this is to be played. And it's a psalm of David. So the choir master has taken another psalm of David and set it to music using certain instrumentation and perhaps a certain melody line. The first verse is a plea. O Lord, do not judge me in your anger. So this is a plea that probably any one of us who are listening to this broadcast could make this prayer. Any one of us could say, O Lord, don't judge me in your anger. And why would we say that? Well, why would we say that to anybody? We would say that because there's a reason for his anger, right? There's a reason for my father to discipline me in his anger, especially if I did something really dumb and perhaps carelessly broke or harmed something or someone. My father might discipline me in anger. And is there a reason why I shouldn't expect that? No, because I broke his law, his rule, and he disciplined me according to his own pleasure. I might cry out to him and say, oh, don't do it, but deserve it? Yes. And I think that's why we have here in Psalm 6, verse 1, O Lord, do not judge me in your anger. Well, what's behind the anger? Probably the sin of the servant who's making this prayer. And do not chastise me in your fury. So he's concerned that God is going to respond to some sin or something that he's done. But notice the prayer. The prayer is not that God would just not do it, but that he would do something other than the anger. Be gracious. Heal me. Isn't that our prayer too? And by the way, it should be our prayer, because there's not a single one of us that shouldn't be praying this prayer. Nobody is without cause, right under the sound of my voice, without cause to have reason to want to pray this prayer, because every single one of us has sinned. The Bible teaches us that. All have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Look at Psalm 14, verse 1, 2, 3, and 4, and see if you don't find yourself in those verses. Yes, you too have done nothing good. And so we could say, Lord, please don't judge me in your anger. I deserve it, but please be gracious to me, for I am feeble. Every single one of us find ourselves feeble in his presence. Our bones are disturbed. That is, the very core of our being is waxed weak and incapable. Heal me. That's what we need. We need a healing. Okay, now tomorrow we're going to look at verses 3 and 4. So come back tomorrow. Let's see what else David has to say. Join me then on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. I'm David Smith. The music today has been performed by the Bluegrass Experiment. Thanks again for listening. I'll see you next time on Daily Dose Radio.